Yeah, I wanna get away.
Greetings from Central Park in New York City, in Manhattan actually, within New York City. So come on a journey through Central Park. Now, one of the things that makes this park fairly unique is that Manhattan itself is quite a built-up area, and the buildings can get a bit claustrophobic. So these open spaces that exist within New York City itself are not just limited to Central Park, but also the various parks in the other boroughs as well, and also within Manhattan itself. But Central Park is probably the most widely known, and quite rightly so as well, because it is an expansive area within Manhattan itself, and because Manhattan is known for the skyline, known for those buildings, to have something like this for, I guess, for the locals, it must be brilliant. Because I mean, I've seen a lot of places within Manhattan itself, where in the parks, Bryant Park, Washington Park also, and City Hall Park, which I've been to a couple of times whilst I've been here, you get a lot of locals that are sitting there reading the newspapers, on their phones, whiling away the time, spending their weekends. And so Central Park becomes like a bit of an oasis within the concrete of Manhattan itself. And as you can see, within Central Park itself, there are a number of areas. There's also a zoo within we're at the start of Central Park as well, followed by a kids zoo as well, a children's zoo. But you know, even if you don't buy tickets for the zoo, you can actually see the area where the seals are. So if you're passing through Central Park, I would suggest walking that way, actually, through the park from the Fifth Avenue side. And it's worth exploring and passing through. If you're into zoos, I'd probably buy a ticket and go to the zoo. But if you're not, and you just want to spend a bit of time away from the museums and the sites, the galleries and the observation decks and the other sites that are associated with New York, come down to Central Park to spend some time away from the hustle and bustle, I guess, of the city. Because I would suggest breaking up a trip in New York into different segments, and you need some time where you're away from the rush, the hustle and bustle as well, because it can get a bit too much. You know, since I've been here, I've seen crowded subways, and even the walkways in some of the streets, Broadway, Fifth Avenue, have been quite packed. And so spaces like this, where you can spend a few hours, or even if you spent less than that, you know, even in the minutes, you know, 15-20 minutes to get away from that hustle and bustle in an area like this, I think it breaks up your time, the time that you spend in the city itself. And New York is known for Central Park, actually one of the most famous parks. One of the buildings nearby, actually, I'm not sure which one, but it's one of these was where John Lennon used to have an apartment and he got shot. I think Mark Chapman was the name of the guy that shot him, I think that's the name. And there's actually an area in the park called Strawberry Fields named after the famous Beatle song. So Strawberry Fields is an area located within the park, and there are a number of areas located within the park that I suggest you visit. If you're into your running, I can't think of anything better in New York to run through, because it's quite undulating surfaces, I think, for those of you who are into your running, and it's quite up and down. A lot of hilly areas, as you can probably see on the camera footage. So I'm actually above now, so you can imagine running in this area, and Central Park carries on yet for a lot further. So yeah, visit this place, visit Central Park, because it is a large space with greenery within the city. But don't make the mistake of just Central Park being the park to visit, because there are a number of them: Bryant Park, Washington Park, two of the ones that I like, Brooklyn Park, which I did visit as well. That's another one. If you are here with children, there's a fantastic child's play area as well that's located within the park, and I suggest coming down here, because one of the things that I think would be a struggle actually in Manhattan itself is to keep children entertained, I think, because a lot of the attractions, a lot of the sites, I think you have to be of a certain age. So I think the playgrounds such as this, they're quite a godsend really, because most children have a lot of energy, and I think these playgrounds are good for them to waste their energy on, because I've seen a lot of I felt sorry actually for a lot of parents who are here with their children, and it's difficult for them, because on the trip that I went to the Statue of Liberty, there was actually a child who kept crying and rolling around on the floor, and I could see the parents getting frustrated by it. Now everyone's sympathetic, because most of the people on the ferry probably had children themselves, so they know what kids can be like. But the parents, you could see it, they were getting frustrated as well. And you could see a lot of places where children are, you could see the children themselves getting frustrated, because a lot of these activities are time consuming. I've got to watch where I walk actually, because there's lots of rocks here, but a lot of these activities are time consuming, and it does take time for you on ferries, walking about. It's fine taking the subway, but even then it takes time going up and down the various boroughs as well, if you do the boroughs. But I know a lot of people just do Manhattan. Even Manhattan on its own, it's difficult to go up and down the city with kids, because the subways themselves, they have stairs, and I've seen a lot of people struggling with push chairs. So it hasn't been reorganized effectively enough with lifts and elevators in a lot of the subways. In fact, I've got subway stations near me, and if I brought my younger kids here, it would be very difficult. So it's difficult, I think, with kids, and I felt sorry for a lot of the parents, because you can see the frustration on their faces. But I think these parks that we have here in Central Park itself, I said we as if I'm a New Yorker, that New York has itself, just trying to get further areas of it here that I can show you, because I've been focused on around one area and walking around, so I can't really tell sometimes where I'm walking. So these parks and these facilities, I think, are a godsend, because children can vent out their energy, their frustration, because kids, forming a queue that's going to take 15-20 minutes, of course they're going to get frustrated. If they're of a certain age, older, teenagers, they're fine. But I felt sorry for a lot of people here, a lot of parents here. Those without kids probably won't think twice about it, but if you are bringing kids here, then I suggest you look into spending time in areas such as this, because they come handy, and and they're free as well. You don't need to spend a single dollar or a single cent on these attractions, playgrounds. So Central Park, I can't think of a better place actually within New York City itself. I could spend a lot of time here exploring the park itself, because there are a number of areas within the park, a number of sections, and I'm trying to walk through a couple of them to try and see what else there is. I saw a couple of musicians at the front, and I'll try and get them as well, because I like to film these entertainers that are there, the characters who are within the city itself. One thing about New York, I'll give you this: whatever anyone does, however weird it looks, people just carry on doing what they're doing. You could have a person shouting, ranting and raving on the subway, like I've seen. Everyone's just carrying on, minding their own business, just carry on. It's accepted. So I think in New York you can pretty much do whatever you want, and it's accepted. It's a strict city full of characters, which is good, because they're the people that you want to see, or I want to see anyway, the characters within the city. And as I'm walking down, there's no musicians here. I was hoping there was a musician there because I could hear something, but it was there's a hot dog stand, or some stand anyway, yeah, that might be playing some music. And but while talking about stands, actually one thing that you do see around Central Park is a lot of these stands, these food carts, hot dogs, burgers, donuts, pretzels, roasted nuts, if you're into your roasted nuts, that is. What else was there? Drinks, soft drinks, water, plenty of food. What else? I'm trying to think, what else have I seen? Ice cream vans. There's a number of ice cream vans. I actually want to go to one, because today is quite a hot day actually. It's quite a warm day, and even though the wind is blowing a bit, it's been quite a warm day. But I want to try and capture some of those singers, those musicians, because one of them sounded quite interesting. He was getting the crowd involved as well here in Central Park. So let's see if I can find him. Let's see if I can find the musician of Central Park. I think I found him. The Pink Panther. I think he's there. And that was the Pink Panther himself over there. That's what I like about these parks, places like this where you've got musicians, buskers. They always add something different to a city or a town. I was quite fortunate enough to been in London a lot, where there's special zones for the buskers, and some of them, to be honest, they're better than a lot of professionals that I've seen. A lot of well-known musicians, so you can get a lot of good music. But this is the zoo that I was talking about, and you can, I hope you can, there was, yes you can actually, yes. When I was walking in, you could actually see seals in this part, and there's one over there just chilling out and just relaxing. So this bit is actually free to walk. There's no entry here, but the zoo is ticketed. And if you're into zoos, you can get a ticket to see the zoo. This is an exit area here. But there's a children's children's zoo and also a 4D theatre as well. So this is quite a good addition, I think. I'm not sure how new this is or when they built this section, built this zoo, sorry. But yeah, I think this is quite good addition to Central Park. But the pathway actually is free to walk through, that takes you into Central Park. This is the exit that goes out of Central Park itself. But like I say, spend some time here, see what Central Park has got to offer, because there's something here for everyone. Maybe you'll find the next hit musician, singer, you never know. But failing that, what you're guaranteed is to spend some relaxing time in Central Park, because once you've exit from this place into the various avenues, whether it's 4th, 5th, 6th, 7th, I've got another enthusiastic singer over here, just as I was talking about the avenues. This is where it's all happening. It's all happening in Central Park. There you go.
No matter the distance, and I want you to know that deep down inside of me, you are my fire, the one desire. You are, pam, pam, pam. Don't wanna eat you and nothing but a heartache and nothing but a mistake. I never wanna hear you say, oh yeah, I want it that way. Tell me why and nothing but a heartache. Tell me why and nothing but a mistake. Tell me why I never wanna hear you say, I want it that way. Tell me why and nothing but a tell me why and nothing but a mistake. Tell me why I never wanna hear you say, I want it that way.
Backstreet Boys, eat your hearts out. I don't think you could sing like that.
Thank you.
That was even better than the Backstreet Boys version.
That was awesome.
That's what I like about places like this. Central Park, you've got the characters, you've got the voices, you've got the musicians and the singers and the artists. And the guy there, he was enthusiastic. That's what I like to see. But from Central Park, I've got to make a move, and as much as I'd like to listen to and enjoy the artists here, there's a lot more that I need to do, a lot more that I need to see. So from Central Park, it's a goodbye.